watch some scenes about like, you know, Little Octopus getting born in the deep ocean and wail over it, sing loads of backing vocals and then send them over to like the team that were working on it, which included Hans Zimmer, which was pretty nuts.
Wow.
What? Let's say, well, yesterday, of course, James, you were raving about that big Bastille song.
Yes. What's it called again?
Bastille, Pompeii.
Pompeii.
Bastille, Pompeii.
Pot pie.
He's a huge fan.
So can we get that audio so we can have it clipped up? Thank you very
Bastille,
much.
Pompeii.
There you go.
Bastille, Pompeii. Bastille, Pompeii.
There you go. You can use that as a ringtone.
Bastille,
Yeah, I love
Pompeii.
it. Every time I get a text.
Please do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Dan Smith
Yay.
from the band Bastille. You might know their song Pompeii.
Pompeii.
Pompeii?
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, I'm really good.
We were just bonding over the fact that we both went to the gym yesterday separately for the first time in a while, and today we're both a bit achy.
You're having gym chat.
Yeah, just classic gym chat.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that would have happened back in the day with me, would it? But yeah, so what were you doing yesterday?
Oh.
Did you ease yourself in, or were you stupid like me?
I'm the scrawniest man in the entire world, so just me lifting up a weight is probably enough. It's probably enough.
Yeah. Pick that up, put that down again.
Oh, here you go. I'm done. And go.
Yeah.
It would be unfair for me to say I went to the gym last year and one of the guys from Blossoms came in and I'm like, oh, look at that, we're both in the gym at the same time. I'm not going to say who it was, but he didn't stay long. Anyway.
So what's your, I think gyms are weird places. If I sort of want to go for as little time as possible, get it out of the way, headphones on, listening to some music or a book or some podcast or whatever. It's a very antisocial space, and I think there's you can have the ability to like, you see the other people, you see people you might see every day, and if you're me, I just want to go there and leave.
Yeah.
But do you chat? Like when you saw the guy from Blossoms, you having
we said hello, and then I left him to it, because you're right. Sometimes people just like to wear headphones and just crack on with it. But I've got my trainer Jamie, so me and him like have a nice catch up. We had a nice chat, and then we hate everybody else in the gym because these gym monkeys who just pick weights up and just leave. People just leave stuff lying around, and then me and him just bitch about.
So you have everyone's your common enemy.
Yeah, everyone. I hate everybody in the gym. I hate the gym. I hate training. I hate everybody who's in the gym. I just don't like it.
It's nice to have one common enemy in a situation. You've got everyone.
Yeah, I do.
These two little main character heroes waltzing through a big old.
And then I was in the gym on my own, so I was on the treadmill for I don't know whatever I did, for an hour or so, and then but after about half an hour.
Sorry, let me just pick that up for you. And it's just an hour or so on the running machine.
Yeah. Well, I can run. That's the one thing I can do. I'll plod. But anyway, and then now today I feel like a bag of crap. But it's lovely to see you.
Yes, thank you.
I can't wait to see you after you got all hench and muscular.
Oh yeah, can you imagine?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can. Yeah. Do you miss Leeds?
I do. Yeah, I do a lot. I loved it there so much. What about you?
Yeah, I do. I really do. When would you have been there?
Oh, ages ago. So the band, we're about to go on tour later in the year, and it forced us to reckon with the idea that we started 15 years ago.
Wow, is it really?
I know. Well,
Good Lord.
Which I think it sounds overinflated, because that's probably when we first started hanging out.
Yeah.
But it works for a tour poster. It both works for a tour poster and makes me feel good and awful about myself. So it would have been like before then.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long were you there? Just 3 or 4 years?
I was there, 3-4 years. And yeah, I really loved it. I mean, I was there as a student, so I was probably in and amongst the most annoying people in the city.
No.
But it was, as someone that grew up in London, getting to go and live there, I did English at uni, but that's where I met all my mates who play music, and if it wasn't for that city, I wouldn't have started being in a band or any of that.
Yeah.
So I have had a great music scene. I have a lot to thank Leeds for.
My son went to uni in Leeds and then stayed on afterwards, so he finished last year.
Oh, amazing.
Everyone he knows has done the same thing, because they love Leeds so much. They do the uni course and then just stay up there.
What can I tell you?
Yeah.
Must be something in the air.
It's a great town. It's a really great town. Unfortunately, we're not going there on the tour.
Oh, boo. Why? We've got an arena now.
I know. It's we're going nearby, but not there.
Let's have a look at this tour then. So this is Bastille from All Sides 2025 tour. Songs from the first 15 years.
I'm so impressed that you've got You've got the poster up on
the screen.
We're all over it.
Of course.
We're all over this, Dan.
Whoa.
Pre-sale is tomorrow, and then general sale is Friday morning, and it's going to be Plymouth, Cardiff, Nottingham, Glasgow, Newcastle, Manchester, Birmingham, Brighton, and London. Yep, no Leeds in there.
Sorry, Leeds.
What your beef is with Leeds. Do you like the touring? Do you like being on tour?
So yeah, I mean, we've done a lot of touring over the last sort of 15 years, and it's obviously, this is very surreal to get to. We've had a bit of a break recently, all doing lots of other things, and to come back and be straight into kind of arenas again is very surreal. I think it's going to be good. We don't have an album to release, or we're not basing it around anything. So it's just a really nice excuse to kind of get back together, celebrate the last 15 years and things going forward, and just play. We've been sitting in a room. It was quite a weird moment, the sort of four of us just hanging out in the studio, being like, what should we play? What are we going to do? And
we've got loads of songs. Which ones are we going to pick?
Should we just pull up Spotify and go through like everything we've ever released?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like as basic as you can imagine, but it was just really, I guess, really gratifying. We're not great at celebrating moments, or looking back loads. So it was just a really nice way to look back through like 5 albums and 5 mixtapes and all the sort of collaborations and film music and songs for other things.
Because there's got to be songs that you've A, not done for ages, or B, there's and maybe even a couple of songs that you've not done live before.
Yeah. Probably ones we're not going to play.
Right.
Yeah, no spoilers, but yeah. I don't know, I think we...
Are you playing Overjoyed?
We're playing Overjoyed.
I love that song.
Oh, thank you. Thanks very much.
Such a great song.
Are there any songs where, I don't know, like for example, you go, hey, why do we... Tell you what we've not played for you. Why don't we play this? And then the other band members are like, oh, that's fine for you, but that's really tricky for me to play.
Mate, that's happened so much. It's so weird. Like when it's obviously being in a band is a really strange thing, and we're very lucky and privileged to get to do it. But it's as just a group of people that work together, or friends and musicians, like there are ones that each of us subconsciously have hated for ages because like it's a bit tricky or it's an annoying key. For me, that's all of them.
Right.
But yeah, like it's just funny seeing that come out in the wash, and it was the first time he'd be like, but why don't you like doing that? And he'd be like, it's because it's hard. It's just a hard one to play, and it was just quite funny having all those conversations.
We were talking about, I don't know if you heard, we were talking about the Spotify. So it's on Spotify. Bastille gets just over almost 21 million monthly listens.
Wow.
Which is, now does that mean anything, like such a high number like that?
Not really. It's quite incomprehensible. I guess a big part of our experience of being in the band has been, we've had some really surreal moments of success. But like I said, we're very, very bad at acknowledging them. so be like, wow, the rooms have got a bit bigger. But let's not think about it. Let's not talk about it. Let's never say that out loud.
Because I don't know if you've ever looked at these things. So you go to Bastille on Spotify, 20.7 million monthly listens, right?
Wow.
That's what you have.
Amazing, that.
That's pretty
Spice Girls,
11.5
million monthly listens. Paul McCartney, 11.8 million. Wow. Bastille, 20.7, which means you're better than the Spice Girls and McCartney.
That's how numbers work. Objectively, you are better.
Yeah. You're twice as good as Paul McCartney.
I'm just going to maybe take that quote and put it on everything we ever do.
Sure, you can do that.
Thanks. That's quite a mad number. But look, on Friday we'll see what that equates to.
Well, this is it. If a fraction of those people go and buy tickets on Friday morning, I think you're going to be fine. I think the tour will be fine. So Friday morning, as Dan says, tickets go on sale. So you got pre-sale tomorrow, Wednesday, and then general sale on Friday.
Yeah.
Plymouth, Cardiff, Nottingham, Glasgow, Newcastle, Manchester, Birmingham, Brighton, and London, but not Leeds, because even though he said he likes the place there,
he's a liar.
A problem with playing Leeds. I don't know why. But it's mad when you think about it, because when you were in Leeds didn't have an arena, never had one.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to see if the big bands were coming to town,
we'd get on the train and go to Manchester.
Manchester, Sheffield had an arena, obviously still does.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Although it's a lovely arena, Leeds Arena, but it's mad that it just didn't have one for years.
I know. Given that, particularly in my mind, it's a real cultural hub as well. So yeah,
exactly. So roughly, how much money do you make from the Spotify? What's your most successful song that you've written or co-written for somebody else? Because you write a lot with other songwriters and for other artists.
Yeah, I do. That's a good question. I think for us it'd probably be Pompeii, or there's a song that I wrote for a DJ called Marshmello that's called Happier that did quite well.
Yeah, that did all right.
There's a song that I wrote with my friend Miles Smith recently that's doing quite well, sort of on the radio all over the world, which is quite exciting.
That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, really nice. Yeah, he's amazing and really sort of inclusive with the writing process, and it's been really fun getting to work with him. And I guess the experience that he's having now is sort of similar to what happened to us 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's great to see it happen to someone who's like such a good guy, really talented, looks after everyone around him, and is very funny, and seems to be sort of dealing with quite an insane situation with a lot of grace, which is brilliant.
Is there something nice, or do you not think about it, when you sit down and you write with somebody for them, and then once the track is written, your job is done and off you go?
It is the best thing in the world. If you're someone like me who like, I love writing songs. It's my favorite thing in the world, and I'm such a nerd when it comes to that. And it's you know, as a job, it's insane to get to go as an adult and sit in a room with some other adults and sing at each other. Like, it's really bonkers and quite weird, but it's really fun. You sort of, particularly if it's for somebody else, you get to sort of, you're just there to try and help them make the best song they can, and it always starts with like chatting for a couple of hours, finding out about other people's lives, what they've been up to, and then you get into writing a song, which is, like I said, a very weird thing to do with your day, but really fun. And then you sort of come out of it at the end of the day with a thing that exists. And if you're me and you not particularly great at the sort of public facing stuff, you then get to hand it over to someone else like Miles, who will do an amazing job and go and enthusiastically play it brilliantly all the time. And yeah, so it's the sort of best of all worlds for me. Because there's something quite weird about, I mean, like I said, making music is I'm so lucky and it's brilliant, but making a thing and then taking it out into the world and having to sort of like cheerlead this thing that you made, yes, is quite odd. Yeah. And some people are really arrogant and confident and are brilliant at it, and then there's people like me and they're like, hey, you just like poured your weird emotions into like a weird 3-minute song. Can you now tell us how great it is? Obviously I'm not,
because it's not a given that people are good at that, because that's not why you got into music, was it? To then go onto TV and radio and sell what you've just been recording.
Let's think about who musicians are and what their motivations for doing it are.
Exactly.
And not many of those things Venn diagram line up with necessarily being incredible at talking in public places. Anyway.
So what are the elements of your job that are a job? Like, so you see a lot of artists, like back in the day, there'd be artists who would embrace music videos, and there'd be other artists who just hated making music videos. They just didn't want to do it. So you're a songwriter, you're in a band, it's brilliant, what a lovely life. But then there are elements to that which are
a grind,
a job.
Yeah, totally. I mean, for me, I love the creative parts of it. So that could be, and that's not to say they're not hard work. You know, writing songs, making albums, it takes up a lot of time, hard work, hours. And we've always, you know, from the very beginning, like we were an indie band for ages. You know, we were doing everything ourselves. So that's like running things online, recording. We had jobs. We were rehearsing in the evenings on the money that we just earned. And like, you know, to tour, we had to like borrow a car off our friend's mum and cram us and all our gear into the back of our car and drive around the country, and, you know, sleeping on friends' floors and strangers' floors and all that kind of stuff, you know. So it's been it could be a grind, but you obviously do it because, you know, we worked hard to get there. I think now the bits that feel touring, you know, obviously we're really fortunate. We're touring on a slightly bigger scale. It's not like
you're not staying on friends' sofas?
Yeah, not so much.
Look at you, well done.
Stay on the bus.
You done well.
Yeah, stay on the bus.
But yeah, I think, you know, that's the bit. Like previously, maybe not with this tour, but you would release an album and it sort of can be the next sort of 9 months to a year of your life where you're kind of constantly traveling and touring, which sounds really great and is in a lot of ways. But it's like it's hard work. It can be hard work. Not in a tiny violins kind of way. But
it's because that's the thing. You can embrace a tour or you can hate being on tour.
Yeah.
It's in the business side of what you do. Touring is the money making element of it, but also as well because we've done tours before in the past, and it's like every city centre in the UK looks the same. I'm going to guess that pretty much every major city centre in Europe pretty much looks the same. You've got your show in the night.
Yeah.
So it's, you're going to be sleeping or travelling, and then you're basically killing time waiting for the show.
Like any other job where you'd go away, it comes with all the same things, right? So whilst it's a massive privilege to get to, see that people love your music, play in front of people and do that bit, obviously the bits in between, it's for me, I'm like a massive insomniac. So the bus overnight, the reason we're on buses is because you're driving, you're trying to get as much travel in as efficiently as possible. So like you and the crew and the band and everyone like drive overnight. I can't sleep on the bus, so that's a little bit limiting. Okay. And then there's it's a busy day. It'll be like promotion if you're me, like writing and recording in any time that you can find, sound checks and the gigs. But then in and amongst that, also because like you said. Because you're kind of transient and traveling all the time, and you're going to these places, but there's no time. I'm like, right, speed tourism now. Where can we go? What can we see? Which I think got boring for the other guys very quickly. So I guess it's just about trying to get as much out of it as possible. And some people absolutely love being on stage. They live for those moments. They're like feeding off the crowd. I'm an anxious wreck. So
really, still,
but I still get to make music with my friends. It's I'm very lucky. But so for me, it's like last time we were on tour, we were like supporting a band in the US, which was a pretty mad tour. But I was working on some music for like the score of Planet Earth 3.
Okay.
Which was the reason that sounded like a weird thing to say. For me, having like another objective on tour, like a creative one, is really helpful.
Right.
So like
it takes you out of the tour
do sound
bubble.
check, and then I go into like the bus, put my headphones on, watch some scenes about like little octopus getting born in the deep ocean, and wail over it, sing loads of backing vocals, and then send them over to like the team that were working on it, which included Hans Zimmer, which was pretty nuts.
What?
So for me, that was like I think it's about. Yeah, being able to juggle a bunch of stuff, and then you're like, right, we're in Minnesota, in the middle of nowhere. Like, what can I go and see that's going to feel like I've done something with my day?
Yeah.
So I'm obviously not painting it as a grind. But it's I think like anything you do, you find the bits that you love, and there are some bits that are just innately repetitive or whatever. But yeah, I don't know if that's a good.
Sorry, are you now friends with Hans Zimmer?
I wouldn't call us like friends, but we've chatted a bunch.
Have you got his number?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Wow, look at that. Ollie Murs and Hans Zimmer. Look, you are collecting them.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Let's ring Zimmer.
Okay, so the tour tickets go on sale on Friday. The tour is November.
Yes. And I also want to talk about part of the reason that I'm here.
Yeah.
Is speaking of the tour, there is a campaign being run by O2 and Fanfare Alliance called Stamp It Out. Mm-hmm. And basically, there's a government consultation very soon. This is to do with ticket touting and ripping off fans, and it's something that we've been speaking about for a very long time. But essentially, there is this website, stampitout.co.uk, which I would encourage anyone listening who's tried to buy a ticket to a tour and sat in a queue, knowing that they're sat amongst like loads and loads of touts who are just going to inflate the prices and resell them, and how frustrating and unfair that is to go there. You can read some information on the website about how to make sure you're buying tickets properly, not getting ripped off, buying real tickets as well. But also, put your stories in. They're like, we're trying to amass a big group of voices to go to this government consultation in the next kind of week or so, just to basically get the government, or sort of petition the government to make some changes. They could put a price cap on resale tickets. Yeah. In Ireland, it's illegal to resell a ticket for anything more than face value. And it's just completely changed ticket buying there.
Yeah,
in Ireland.
I was about to say, what realistically can people do though about that? But that seems so obvious now you've said that out loud.
It's so, as in like there are there are sites out there that resell tickets at a genuine price, which is fantastic. There are those that slightly inflate it, and then there are touts that are like, they basically buy up all the tickets, they then buy like real estate on Google searches or search engines, so they come up above genuine ticket places, and it's all out there to kind of con the ticket buyers. And like, you know, I'm chatting about this because I think it's just like, I've had that experience, friends have had that experience, I've seen our fans trying to buy tickets to our shows, and we keep our costs, we keep our like prices as low as possible. Yeah. Because we want our gigs to be accessible. We want.
Well, it's frustrating for you, I would imagine, as an artist, because, all right, so for you to do a show, you know, let's say we're Manchester, right? So you do Manchester Arena. Yeah. That costs money for you to do that show, right? Now, you don't want to get into the ins and outs of it because you just want the fans to come along and have a great night and enjoy the show.
Yeah, of course.
But the logistics of that show, even just that one show on its own, the logistics, the money, the organisation, the trucks, the people to build the stage, everything, it costs a lot of money. So you want to keep that.
Yeah, we do, because the reason it costs money is that's people's jobs. It's like, you know, it's so easy to see, you know, a tour as like the artist on stage or the band on stage, but like behind every single artist and band, there's loads of jobs. Be that people working at the venue, crew, drivers, like you know, truck drivers. That's a whole little mini economy, and obviously there's loads of people touring the UK, and the music industry is struggling at a grassroots level. So there's this really interesting statistic that touts took last year £145 million out of what could have been going back into the music industry. And that's not just going into artists' pockets, that's like grassroots venues, that's letting tours happen that bring up other bands, that's venues, that's all of it. So that's a crazy amount of money. And that's like just scammers who've like come along and created like a sub-industry that's just creaming off the top. So which is a real shame. And I guess the island thing is such a helpful, for me it was just really helpful to understand, like, very close to home. They'd be like, no, that's illegal, you can't do that, and the whole industry's just gone away. And
that
now
seems
in Ireland,
obvious,
right?
Yeah, doesn't it?
You buy a ticket for 35 quid, you can't go, you sell it for 35 quid. Absolutely. It just makes so much sense.
Exactly.
Because I think a lot of these sites, we're going to have to wrap this up, a lot of these sites were genuinely like, if you buy tickets to a gig, a lot of them were genuinely set up with the right intentions, but then a lot of them just get abused by the tout situation. So what's the website? What is it?
So it's stampittout.co.uk.
Got it.
Yeah, and basically, if you've had a bad experience, which I'm sure so many of you had, or if you know someone who has, just go there, add your story, and it's basically going to collate all of these voices to this government consultation, and hopefully, you know, affect a bit of change and make that experience, which should be a really fun one. Like, we all want to, you know, everyone works hard to earn their money, and if you choose to go to a gig, you should be able to just do it and not be getting conned. So
100%.
There you go.
Lovely to see you.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, Dan.
Thanks so much.
Ironically, everybody go and get tickets to see Bastille.
At face value.
At face value.
At face value from the right website. Give our best to everybody else in the band, the whole crew, and don't forget
Bastille, Pompeii.
I really hope you play Pompeii.
We'll play Pompeii.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dan Smith from Bastille, everybody.
Radio.